What does it mean to nuke the classroom?
Welcome to Alien Institute.
When a person takes on the respected task of making mathematics an important part of their life, they find themselves within a different circle of thinkers. In that circle, these people create a world within a world. They find themselves using different terminology, subtle gestures, inside jokes, as well as analyzing everything they see. By the way, if you want to analyze why a negative times a negative is a positive, be sure to watch this video right here at the end of our test talk. Many mathematicians don't even know they've been consumed by a new culture until an outsider witnesses these alien mathematicians express their odd rituals and confusing language and ask one of the math folk to translate. Of course, most of the time the outsider, die Außenseiterin in German, will just scoot out of the conversation, because if they stayed, it would be like listening to two Swedish people talking and you don't know Swedish.
Jag fattar inte.
Now I wanted to give a little bit of background or groundwork so I could share with you the phrase nuking the classroom, a phrase often used in grad school and teaching circles. Okay, so nuking the classroom, what does that mean? I've used and heard the phrase a number of times in Southern California, and have also met people from East schools that have also used it as well. Today, I'm going to share with you two contexts where you hear this terminology. So the first time I heard he nuked the classroom was probably in my senior year in college. I had a friend who was a graduate student in mathematics, and he was talking to another student about a test they took. I was the fly on the wall listening in to what to me was a comical conversation while another older graduate student was listening in too. After the details of the test were discussed, my friend started telling us. He got his test back and he subtly looked to see what he got, and it was a 37%. He had never failed a math test in his life, and he was instantly feeling ashamed. Looking around at other reactions, he noticed that many were reluctant to show their grades. Finally, one brave student showed he got a 22%, which empowered those who were in the 30% range to share their results. After all, a 33 or a 35% is much better relatively to a 22%. The professor then piped in that the lowest grade was a 9%. And the highest grade was a 68%. Not one person passed with a C. At that moment, the older guy who wasn't in the class remarked, "Sounds like the professor nuked the class." I had never heard that terminology before, but neither did my friend, who was a brand new graduate student. My friend asked, "What do you mean by nuke the class?" So the guy who said it, who was far along in grad school, went on to explain. He went on to say Professor Wagner always does that to new grad students at the beginning of the year. He said that the professor felt that he needed to tear down some massive egos before he built them up. Sounds a little bit like boot camp in the Marines. This guy was telling us that many professors believed that students beginning the grad level would often rely on their big brains over hard work. A crazy poor test score would shake them up. Hitting a class with an impossible test is analogous to dropping a bomb on their head, a nuclear bomb. 3 weeks later, I found out the lesson in humility worked. The grad students in that class studied far more than they normally would, and the professor made the next test at a normal difficulty level. The combination of more study and easier test brought the range of scores for that test between 83% and 100%. So what is the other usage of nuking the class? I heard it again when I started teaching college. By the way, another way of saying nuke the class would be to say drop a bomb or drop a bomb on the class. Anyway, it's not a secret that teachers at the beginning of a quarter or semester, after seeing a large number of students enrolled, attempt to thin out the herd by any means necessary. Fear is definitely one of those means. It's somewhat understandable why teachers do this, because many times students just sign up for a class and are in it less than half-heartedly. Other times a student's prerequisites are very weak, and it's almost guaranteed they will drop the course down the road anyway. Whatever the situation, I did hear of a teacher given an extremely hard college algebra test as the first test. 10 of the 40 students never came back. For the 30 that did come back, he let them retake an easier test for a new first test score. He said it's important to nuke the classroom so that ones who really want the class get the attention they deserve. Anyway, that's what it means to nuke the classroom. Don't forget to comment if you've ever been nuked in your classroom, and if you've never heard it used before, there's no time like the present to start using your new language.
Hey, Alien Institute crew! Don't forget to strike the like, subscribe, comment, and share. Also continue learning by watching more AI videos.